Hey, hello everyone. I hope everybody is doing great in this new year. Recently, I have been receiving queries on how to get started with programming, and there is nothing better than getting started with Excel first. So, if you can start with Excel, do the data analysis, and understand how things work, it'll be far much easy to get started with programming. And once you do that, you can pretty much pick any language of your choice, like Python, JavaScript, Java, anything. C, C++, everything would be be so easy for you to follow. So in this video, I'm trying to start with Excel basics. No matter where you are, Excel is something that you should be working on. While you're working as a student, you're working in an office, Excel will always be there. Some of you might already be experienced enough and has good exposure to Excel, so you might find these things so basic. But my opportunity with this video is to reach out to people who want to get started with Excel, understand the basics of programming. The objective here is to learn programming through Excel. I'll start with basics. I'm planning to do three videos, starting with basics here in this video, starting with some basic formulas and a data analysis. Then in the next video, we'll cover up some advanced formulas. And of course, we'll create some dashboard so that we are through with Excel. At the same time, we'll talk about the approach, how to work in Excel, and how it relates to programming. And the next courses I'm thinking about is creating some um, first level, initial level things related to programming. All right. So without any further delay, let's get started. So I have this practice sheet available with me. It'll be easy for all of you to get access to this. All you have to just to do is to let me know that you need a copy of this Excel sheet in the comments, and I'll share it with you guys. That's it. Okay. So what we are trying to do here in this sheet that I have each tab named as some formula. So let's start working on each of these formulas and understand. And even before this, let me just introduce you to Excel. What Excel is, I have a bad throat, please don't mind. So now Excel is a tool from Microsoft. It has got everything that you would need to do all the complex calculations in the world. The only limiting factor for an Excel is the amount of data it can handle. It works on the data altogether all at once. That makes it a little slow compared to other data analytics programs that work just on that small piece of data. So here we're looking for all the data all together at once. That's the only difficulty. Now it has got various formatting options. You can pretty much insert anything like photographs, images, tables, pivot, 3D models. You can create 3D graphics. Trust me, it's a very good 3D graphics creator. Then you have page layout for printout, setting up of all the things. And the most important thing is the formula. You have a formula bar that allows you to do the calculations. You have formulas starting from basic formulas like average, counted, max, min, and then financial complex formulas like this. I've used some of them. Not everything is needed for me, but it's simple to use these formulas as simple as using the ones I'll be showcasing it to you. Similarly, we got logical formulas, we got text manipulation formulas, date and time, lookup, trigonometry. Yeah, it is there. And then more functions from statics, engineering, cube, information compatibility, and something related to web and web services. So these are quite interesting. Now with the new version that I'm running right now, it's the version. Let me show you. Okay, where is it? Yeah, information. No, not in information. Oh, here, in options. My bad. I wanted to show you an account. So in accounts, I have this Office 365. You can use this version. It has got all the latest formulas, and no matter what version you're using, most of the formula would remain to be the same. When it comes to data, data allows you to fetch data from different sources. You can get data from a file like text file, yeah, even from PDF. You can get it from database, from Azure services, from Microsoft Power Platform. If you know this, you are an interesting person because it's amazingly simple to do automation using Power Automate platform. Next comes the other sources. So these are also available, which you can do, and you can even combine queries. We'll talk about Power Queries, but let's get back to basics. So enough of introduction. Now, SUMIF is a formula that's much similar to sum, but with condition. So when we have to sum something, what we'll do, let's say we'll do a sum. Simple as that. So it's giving me the total. Now, if I want sum of only east region, for example, so I'll use sum if, and I want the range, and then I want the criteria. So here I'm saying if you find east, then give me the sum of this column. Okay, I got 709. Let's see. Yeah, it is 709. Okay, so this is 709. All right. So let's say I want to put two conditions. I want east and I want books. So how to go about do two conditions? So for that we got another formula called sum if s. So with sum if s, you can pretty much put any number of conditions. So let's do this. I'm saying give me the sum range. So this is the sum I am looking for. Then I need criteria. My first criteria is the region. I'll select East. My next criteria is books from this column. So I'll select the range first and then I'll specify my criteria. All right. So I've specified, give me the total of East region books sale. So what do you think should be the number? Should be 142, right? We do not have more books, right? Yeah, it's 142. Okay, let's change this soft toys to books. And yeah, our total has updated to the sum of these two. So this is how it works. Simple, right? So use it for your disposal. Now the thing here while we're working with Excel is the first step is to ask yourself this question. This is important. That what I want. So if you can think of that statement, you can actually pretty much find the formula for doing that. So here the statement would be I need some of books, some of sales for books sold, sold in East region. Some, so we need to look for some formula. And I've got two conditions, so we need to find a formula that allows me to put in two conditions. Simple as that. Yeah. Okay. Next, I'll do all these formulas quickly. Maybe in the next video, we'll come to a little bigger formulas like lookup and all. Similar to this, we got COUNTIF. So let's say if I want to do the count, I want to do the count of total sales in East. So let's say count if if okay this comma and sorry count this and the criteria is East. I want to count how many times East has repeated in this column. So okay, give me a minute. So if count if and the count is 4. Now just like we did for sum if, I have another requirement. Let's say I want count of East and books. So I'll use the formula COUNTIFS and the first range is East. Let's select the criteria. The second range is products and the criteria is books. So the count would be what, right? Yeah. So let's add more books. 2. All right. 3. If I add books to West, it does not make any difference. But if I change East to West, yeah, you see the difference is there. And let's change the count of West. So it's kind of a quick search that you just not created for yourself. Pretty cool, right? Now let's come to trim. Now what trim does is to remove any trailing space from your text. For example, let's say I put my name as Jagmohan and I've got a lot of space in front and end of this text. So all I have to do is to trim. That's it. So now this is free from any trailing spaces, either on the front or towards the end. This is exactly what we are going to do here. So let me just count. Okay, count if and in this range we will count the number of east repetition. So it says 4 and for west. Okay, yeah, west also it shows 4. Okay, what if I do like this? Oh, it looks like west, but it has a trailing space. That is the reason we are not able to get the correct count. So when we are doing analysis on some data, it's always necessary to look at the data accuracy. In some of these cases, what you can do is you can either select press Control H that allows you to find something and replace it with something here. So I'm going to search the space and replace it with nothing. Now I've done that replacement, it's back to normal. In other conditions, you may have spaces in between your words, but we are only interested in removing the trailing and the prefix spaces. So it only makes sense to use trim function. So let's do trimming. We're using a separate column. We're trimming the values here. Now we will copy and we will paste. See, all the changes done now. We can remove this temporary column now. So this is how we use trim. Let's come to value. Now value is a way to tell Excel that we want the numerical version of this value. So here, if you see, we got these numbers, but if I check the format, I'm pressing Control 1. See, the formatting is text. So calculations might not work here because Excel is considering this number as text. So there is a problem with the formatting. You can fix the formatting for sure, but the other way to do it is to select value and paste. You can do value and paste. So it converts whatever the text input that you're getting into actual number. So sometime when we are taking inputs or data has come from a web service or some user has input the data, the chances are that it might not get recognized clearly as number, but value does the trick. Value helps you do this correction. Okay, all right. And another example, let me show you. Let's say I have something. Okay, we'll cover it in the next sheet. That will be far much easy to understand. Let's come to if. So let me increase. So now if is a condition. For example, I have a number here and I've got another number here and I want to do a validation. So if this number is greater than this, then I say uh, first one is big or any text that you want. Or and then otherwise give me first, sorry, second one is big. Okay, so ignore the typo. So the first one is big. Well, let's change this to 2500. Oh, second one is big now. Easy. You can apply it to multiple condition. So another thing that you can do is you can have multiple if added to each other. Let's say I've got three numbers. Let me add one more. So I want to do first comparison of first two, and then I would say if the first one is true. So we're just comparing. It could be any other condition. It has to be a logical condition which generally would result into true or false. So if this is true, then I want to proceed next. Then I want to proceed if another if this number is also greater than 300. If that is also true, then I would say B2 is big. Otherwise, I would say C2 is big. Okay, so my if is done. Now this will execute only when the B2 is big. But what if our first condition is Uh, Sorry, here I've got D2. Yeah, if my first condition is false, that means C2 is big. So next I'll do a comparison between C2 and D2. And if it turns out to be good, then I would say C2 is big. Otherwise, if it is false, that means D2 is big. Okay, so in our case, we know clearly that C2 is big. Let's make this one big. 5,000 directly. Now D2 is big. Another way that you can do this is to use find maximum of these numbers. That will give you the value if you want to find the value rather than just do the comparison. Similar to this, we got minimum, min, so you'll get the minimum value. Pretty cool functions, right? So now I'm going to circle back to COUNTIF. So what we learned is sum if s, count if s. Similar to these two, we got max if s. Yeah, it is there. So similarly, you can have multiple conditions and you can find the max value. So let me just type x, max if s, then we got minimum if s, and then we also have average if s. So these are some of the most common formulas which we'll utilize. Let's come to text manipulation. This is one of the most common problem that we look at. Now we got first name, last name, and I want full name. Or maybe I want first name in the end, last name first name last. Okay, let's try both ways. All we have to do is I'll use concatenate first, comma. I need a space, so let's just give a space and the last name. Now I'm going to copy the same formula to the entire list. Now we got the full names. Now what do we want the last name first? Okay, let's say other format. Same, concat, and this time select the last name first. If you want a comma instead of space, you can do that as well. And here we go. Okay, cool, right? Or it's better with a space actually. Okay, let's say you are creating an email address for your new joinees, and your general format is first name dot last name at something. So let me do it. Concatenate first name dot first name and then dot and then last name. Then let's type our domain administrator.in. Yeah, feel free to type in your domain. Pretty easy, right? Now let's say I want everything in lowercase. So say we have a got formula, right? Lowercase. Simple. Okay. Now let's come to left and right. Now sometime maybe we get data like this and we want to have first name separated from the last name in two different columns. How to do that? We got these text formulas which we can use. So many formulas are there. And Each one can be utilized to achieve what we want to do, but in some cases, you might be using a specific one. For example, let's start with text before and after. So, text before. So here the number is separated by a space. So this is the text and my delimiter is a space. That's it. Everything else is optional. And let's close this. So I have asked for anything before the space. And similar to this, we have text after, comma, space. So now we have the last name, okay? Or you can do something like this. Okay, let me just copy these once again. And if I do text split this, and I'm saying do it with a space, and then let's close this. Oh, wow, it's done our job. But you'll have to copy and paste as value to be able to use this data actually. So it does the job, but you'll have to make it usable by copying it as a values. Now, where to use left and right? Okay, let's do left and right. As the name goes, left allows you to pick the number of characters. The number of characters I will have to specify. So let's say uh, I have the names. This name is has first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 letters. So I can say 5 and I'll get the first 5 letters. Okay, let me just copy this. Oh, it does the job, but it does not meet the purpose. It's picking the 5 characters, but or let's say I just need 4, maybe. Okay, now I have 4 characters, but it does not meet the purpose still. Kai has a space included, and if there is a name, let's say I add another letter to this, I still have Zara is something that I was captured, so it's not meeting the requirement. So what we can do, why we can still use it? How? Okay, let's find out. So what I'm doing is I'm going to search. Well, yeah, we can search. I want find text. I want to search this space in here and close it. So if I'll get 5, let's see how the number looks like. So the position of this space is different for all these names. Now what I want to do is to just pick up these numbers, right? From the left, and the text is A2. Just pick up what you are able to find, right? We are done. But it includes space. So I'll just subtract 1, and now I have the first name. But what to do with the last name? Okay, what if I know the entire length and I subtract the first part? So we have a function called length. Here I've mentioned that. So I want to find the length. So length is 12. Okay, we got different lengths. And now let's remove the, okay, we searched for space in this text and Okay, so from the total length, let's remove the search. So after the search, after the space, we got 7 letters, 9 letters respectively. And all I have to do is from the right of A2, pick these many characters. Oh, yes, we got our first name and last name using left and right formula. Okay, cool. Now, if error is pretty straightforward, whenever we do calculations, there is a possibility that it might result into an error. If we do a lookup, we could not find the value. If there is a division by zero, in many of these cases. So what we can use is, so avoid looking at something dangerous like this, we can use if error. So if we face an error, we can have a sensible message. Please do, please enter non-zero values. Okay, please enter non-zero values. Or you can change this to anything that you want. So this is how we use if error. And unique, I like this one. This is amazing. Now we got a list of fruits. We got 57 and we got some count. So what we want to do is I want to find the unique name of fruit. Now let's say from your experience, you tell me, let's say you want to find out how many unique items are there in a list. I've seen people using a pivot to do that and then copy pasting from there. That's one of the way. But we have another way available, and this is much better. All you have to do is select unique and put an array that you want to filter out. So it'll just pick. So we got 57 value. Let's see how many are unique. And okay, so we got 46 unique values, right? Pretty impressive, right? Unique. So, for example, let's say you have a report with employee, okay, maybe student, right? Student. So student A, then B, C, then again A, then D, then F. So maybe they are doing some work, they are achieving something, and I want to find out how many unique students are there. So let's use unique, unique, yeah. So we got A, B, C, D, F. All right, and let's find the count. Count if S criteria and this. Correct? So if I change this to B, my count would change. If I change this to C, the count would change again. This makes it pretty easy, right, to look at the unique values. And you can have dashboard created. Of course, we'll do this in the coming video, but this is just for your understanding. So like I said previously, if you can define your statement, okay, did I remove that statement which I've written? Yeah, I think so. But the thing is, if you can define a statement, what you want to do, you can achieve it. Now let's do the sorting part. It's the same data that we had, but let's say I want to do this table sort basis this column. Oh, you have a sorting button right here, correct? Yes, you got that. But let's say you want to do it with a formula. And why we should do with the formula? Let's say I do not want to touch the original formatting. Let's do it in two different ways. So type, let's copy the headers two times. Sort. What do I want to sort? I want to sort this entire array. Sort index is the column. We got two columns here. I want to sort with the first column and the order, ascending or descending. Let's do ascending order. So in case it's a text and we're using ascending order, that means we want to do alphabetically. Okay, yeah. And let's do the same formula, but okay, let me just type it again. Sort. I want to sort basis the count, comma. Okay, I need to select the entire table and I want to sort it with second column and again descending order. No, not ascending order. Let's do descending order. Descending order is -1. So highest to lowest count. Done. Cool, right? So your original data is still in place. You still have two sorted column. You can have two different tables. Sorry, the charts created out of these to got to represent two different kind of representation of the same data. Now let's look at the filter. Now what is filter? This is filter. You select the table and you have filters. Okay, but these filters are manual. Every time you want to see something, you'll have to change this. Well, let's say I want to, okay, let's find out French. Okay, and generally what we'll do is we'll copy, we'll paste it somewhere if we have to do the analysis. But what if we can do it with a formula? Consider filter as a way to do the queries to your tabular data like this one. So how many of you heard of SQL and the database? So when you got a database, it has got tables and we use a SQL language to query that database table and find out what we need. Similar to this, we got filters. We can have multiple things attached to a filter and okay, let me just show you. We got name and score. So this is what we want. So filter, what do we want? Filter. I want name and score. So just select what you want. Include. What do you want to include? Include the subject when it is equals to the value in this cell. That means in our case, it is currently French. Okay, let's see. We got the French scores. Wow. All right, let me just do a formatting. Okay, what if I change this to math? Oh, we got a drop down already. Math, yeah, it works. Technology, impressive, right? Okay, what if we have more than one condition? We are just applying one filter. Let me just add one more category. Zone, east. Let's do some for east, then west, then do some for west. Okay, now I want two conditions. I want the student's name and score, those who have French and are from East. Specifically, these three. So how to do it here? Now, if you look at the formula, we have the table, then we have the condition, the filter column. This is the column we want to filter. But we have two conditions. So what we'll do is we'll come we'll put this into parentheses, then put a multiplication icon, create one more parenthesis, select the column. Now I want this to be equals to, okay, let's this. I'll format it later and then close. Now this is blank. So let me just copy. I want zone and I want east. Okay, yeah. So it's now filtered just to, oh, let's change it to west. So student from the west zone learning French. What are their scores? Oh, we just have one person in the west. Well, let's do maths. Maths in the west, we got two. Okay, so this is all for this video. In the coming videos, we're going to cover lookup functions. Lookup, H lookup, V lookup, and X lookup. Okay, to summarize it all, we covered just the basic functions to get you started with Excel. These are some of the most common things that you can use and utilize in day-to-day tasks for data clearing, formatting, counting, summation, and all. So this will get you started. And then really suggest that you work on some actual data and do the practice. It'll make it things far much easy. And I will keep introducing the next chapter. That way, we'll cover up Excel and we'll learn how the programming works. You might still be wondering how is it related to programming? See, we are using functions. And in programming languages, we create functions all by ourselves. We club the functionality together. Like in this case here, we clubbed multiple functions together. We got write, len, and search all together working in one single cell to give us what we desire. Now, similar to this, we'll do programming, and do not worry, we'll create simple programs to start with. We'll not do hello world program, okay, but we'll do something basic at the same time fruitful. Okay, happy learning to all of you. Feel free to write your questions. If you're somewhere stuck with any specific problem with Excel, it would be interesting for me to look at it and give it a spin to find out the solution. I'll try my best. So do write in about your problems if you have any, and see you in the next video. Happy learning, everyone.